Our next members are Chris and Jacqui. If you'd come up, that would be great. Oh, there you go. I was looking over there. There you go.
Hi.
I keep turning it off. All right, there you go. All right, so Chris and Jacqui, tell us a little bit about you guys.
We've been married 6 years, going on 7 next year. Got 3 kids. Hold up a little higher. Sorry. Been married 6 years. Have 3 kids, and we both work in a family business that her mom and dad started 30 years ago. And everything's been great.
Yeah,
Happy
that's who we are. Chris kind of came into my family's business when we got married, so.
So no real estate experience?
No.
Okay.
0.
Okay. So how'd you hear about Lifestyles?
I worked down the street at a restaurant called J. Alexander's. I was there for a long time. Yeah. So I was there for a long time when they first opened, and they used to be Houston's. And I would work at the bar, and the hostess at night, be at 9:30, probably 30 minutes before we closed, they said, "Hey, just let you know, Lifestyles is coming in." And the bartender's like, "Hey, Chris, get ready and get this stuff out." And I said, "What the heck is the Lifestyles? What are y'all talking about? Lifestyles are coming in." "Yeah, what's a Lifestyles?" I had no idea what it was. Well, as time went, they come maybe once a month or every couple of months. And Dell would come in, and he would have a group of 15, 20, 30 people, and over the past hour, the ones that had to go to work in the morning, they would leave. And he would call in, we're talking 15 years ago or so, and they would talk about 15 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand apartments and making money. And one of the chefs is like, "Oh yeah, those guys, they're the real deal, but you gotta have some money." I said, "Okay." I had no idea what it was. I still didn't understand what the heck it was. But about that time, I was probably mid-20s, and then when I hit about 30 years old, then I started reading books about real estate, and I already knew that that's what I wanted to do when I got some money. So when we got some money, just the past handful of years, I was always told her, as soon as we do it, we're going to join Lifestyles, period. And then we got married, didn't have any money. Waited.
That's pretty
but I
tough.
joined as the Freedom Financial, whatever the entry level.
Financial Freedom Program, yeah.
First, just to stay motivated.
Okay.
After we got married, he dragged me to I think it was the 2-day thing.
Right.
And I was like,
You were the
that's
skeptic.
what you want. He talked about it all the time because he listened to it on the radio, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, I'll come with you. And I was like, okay, I kind of get it. But when we started talking about the higher levels of membership, I was like, that is a lot of money. I don't know where we're getting that from.
So when did you guys join?
I joined probably in maybe 2016 or 2017.
Okay.
And then I became Challenge May of last year.
Okay. So at the challenge level, you get access to the mentors. So I just wanted to distinguish that. So last year you became a challenge member?
Right.
Okay. And this property is one of 2 properties that you bought in the same week.
Same week. The first one, yeah, and then the second one, this one here.
So when you finally joined the challenge program, you went real slow.
I went real slow, but I did a lot of. I went to the houses and tried to get practice and learn and ask people questions. And that,
I
to me,
actually
was
kept
working.
asking him, when are you going to just buy one? Like, he'd be online doing the classes, and I'm like, just do it. You're not going to learn it until you just do it.
Good.
Yeah. Keep her on your team.
I also have no idea what any of the classes are. So,
So tell us a little bit about this property.
Okay, so this place is in Brazoria, Texas, which is next to Sweeney, West Columbia area. Have a big refinery, maybe 20 miles away from it. Some more refineries, if going closer to Freeport. And it was in pretty bad shape. I got a call from Jeff Jenkins, and
Jeff Jenkins is one of the realtors.
right. And he called me. He said, "Hey, I know you just bought this house, but when you reached out to me saying you're ready to send me some more deals whenever you got it." So he called me. I think it was the next day, and "Hey, go, and we're gonna be at this home, but you better come fast." And I said, "Well, I live in Lake Jackson. I'll be there in 15 minutes." So I did. And yeah,
And
Leo showed up.
and I didn't know about it till he'd already did it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you again had some beautiful before and after pictures. So it was how big of a rehab?
This one total cost was just under 50 grand. We're looking at probably about 1,900 square foot home, maybe a little bit more.
And it was built in when?
Oh, maybe early 70s.
Early 70s. Okay, so living room looking into the kitchen. Here's the kitchen before and after. So you can see similar to the other property, the kitchens look very similar. Probably, maybe even the same contractor, who knows? But this is I just did an upgrade and it sort of looks like this too. So it seems to be the trend.
Right.
And then you got your bathroom, you got large format tile, and then your numbers. So this is how long ago?
This was February. Then after the refi, we're looking at beginning of April, something like that.
Of this year.
Of this
February
year.
of this year.
This year.
Of this year.
Right.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So
Your pants exciting, as you would say, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it appraised at 279. You purchased it for 131. Rehab 50 grand. Your total cash out of pocket was under $7,000.
Correct.
So like Dave was saying, typical is $35,000 in that range. This was what we consider a home run, seeing how it stretched that dollar, right?
That's right.
And the equity capture. Look at the equity capture. $78,000.
Right.
So
Yeah.
well done.
And for the person online that doesn't understand, could you put out 6 grand and make 70 grand? Who'd be okay with that? That'd be life changing. Give him a hand. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I was most proud of this home because when I was doing comparables to find out, hey, what's a good rent? Does it make sense in this area and so forth? My comps were 1,800, 1,850. I was like, if I can just undercut these guys and get this home rented really fast for this, and then the numbers look right, that'd be great. So that's why I'm really, really proud of.
Yeah, well done. Very well done. Awesome. So you just started out, but you bought 2 properties in the same week or so. So this is the second property,
Right. Yeah.
and so you have to your household income, you've added a little over $6,000, and to your net worth, you've added $111,000.
Correct.
Very well done. But before you clap, so I created these slides like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and since then, what's happened?
I close on refi 2 more tomorrow. The notary's coming to our office, and we're getting that done. Yeah, and then so I bought 2 more the past 6 to 8 weeks and refi and getting ready to get people moved in there.
So he's taken on 2 more projects. He bought them with hard money. You rehabbed them. You refied. You've got them leased out already.
Right.
And they're moving in the next week or so.
The first one's already moved in last week. The next one is due on the 15th.
So I think he's hooked.
Yeah.
Is this more fun than working in a restaurant?
You get a whole lot more rush for sure. The good rush, not the lunch rush.
Yeah. So now you can clap. So well done. So we what do we have here? So how has this whole process worked for you?
It's been great for me. I'm really happy because this is a goal that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I've told her before we got married, really probably the first couple of days when we started dating, we started talking about like what we wanted to do and kind of our dreams and stuff. So she's like, oh, this guy, he should go to her dad. Oh man, this guy's talking about real estate. And your dad, of course, oh my goodness, who is this guy? But it's great. So the money that we make, putting it aside, and I like to see it covering our expenses. Our expenses are pretty low. We're Dave Ramsey people, so we have next to nothing. So we want something, we just buy it, and not a big deal. But yeah, so that's what we're doing right now. Is I'm just putting that money aside, covering what we got to do personally, and then you just have a couple more accounts where you just see money just keep stacking for the next deal, basically. It's been great.
Yeah. And if you want to know more about chunking and stacking and all that, that's all taught in our education. So I think you might cover that in the 2-day too. So short-term goals, long-term goals?
Well, short term, as I wrote, acquire 2 more rental properties. Well, that's already done. Cover the family expenses with cash flow. which is what we're doing. And then long-term goal, I mean, I want to move as fast as I can, smart. But obviously, in our position, I would probably ask you, what's our next steps? And then look for a fourplex or a smaller apartment complex, whatever it may be. I'm game.
Okay. Well, definitely keep your mentor. And your mentor, we're going to cover that here on the next one, is, oh, it's me. That's right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, so what's funny is that we do a lot of initial mentor meetings, and some people, they just take off and you don't hear from them very much. And Chris, I've heard a little bit, but not a whole
The
lot.
first two properties, the first one, you heard from me a lot. We talked, text, email, call. The second one was about maybe
2 days later.
50% of that.
And the other thing in my defense is that we do a lot of phone calls, and we rarely see each other. So putting a face to it is, so that's my excuse. But no, Chris has been great. And so Jeff Jenkins was your realtor?
Jeff Jenkins, for the first two properties, was a realtor, and he's the one that he gave me a call for the second one. Yeah.
Okay. I asked him to be here, but he's in California, so he's out having fun.
He's always having vacations.
Disney World, Disneyland.
I don't know.
And yeah.
I just told him to quit showing off. So, so what about the other vendors?
Yeah, Boost Foundation did the work on this home. It wasn't too much, and they did the work on the first home, which was a lot. Marispec, JR, and Zach. Oh, there you are. Yep. They did both those. I called them numerous times for a handful of homes that I didn't get, or after the inspection, I just wasn't comfortable with the work and I backed out. So, you know, I was really going out there and hitting it hard. CNC Insurance, A&P Mortgage, which Alicia over here, she's doing refi on 4 properties. So big props to her, because I always call her and text her, and she's on vacation. She, there, but she's like on vacation. Like, hey, I'm going on vacation this weekend. Okay, cool. Answer this. You know, I need this answered real quick. Let me ask you a question. No, I'm leaving like today. Okay, good. Ask me a question. I need this.
I always answer your question.
Yeah.
But you know, we teach how to build a team, like I mentioned before, and each one of these people has such depth of knowledge in their area. So, you know, build your team wide and deep, and don't hesitate to ask them questions.
Yeah.
They know
She's awesome.
Yeah, they
She
know
did
their
really
stuff.
great.
So.
And then the hard money, Searchers Capital, Kellen, where Searchers Capital just was awesome too. Same communication, and call you right back if they miss your call and whatnot. And it was really easy to work with their website. So highly recommend them with those.
Very nice, very nice. Well, cool. Well, we have a little bit of time for some questions. We're running a little bit behind, so any questions in the audience or online? Nothing? Usually we have one. There's one in the back.
Yeah, the first house looks like a lot of rehab. What is KS?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand that.
The first house, it needed a lot of rehab, right? Water rehab?
The first house needed a lot of rehab.
The one we're showing right now. Right. Yeah, it was about 50,000, maybe 49.9 or something like that. It was right under 50K. And
Can you kind of
this one-
restate the question?
Yeah, the question was the rehab a big rehab, and how much?
I was wondering if you were scared of taking on that project.
Oh, one of your first properties, were you scared?
if you would have saw my first home, this one was a breeze. The first one, it was really bad, but I wasn't scared. No,
Can I ask you both a question? How much of the work did you do?
I did zero. Yes. I did zero.
So you don't get scared if you're not doing the work. He wrote a check. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, look at that picture. Oh, I'm done. Who likes that? He's an investor.
You
Yeah,
get a little scared when you walk
Oh,
in
you're
the
still
house and there's a
scared,
hole
write
in
the
the
check.
floor.
I
But
Very nice. Another question?
So how was the screening of tenants for the first time? How were you able to find good market and then find?
The question was, how did you screen your residents? What did you use? What system?
Yeah, so for both of these, the first one, I put a sign up, and I think it was the next day. I didn't post anything for both of these online. I got a call multiple calls. But the tenant that moved in the first one, they worked at one of the plants, and they made good money, and it was they had I think he was an electrician is what he is. And this one here for the Brazoria home, he was a cop. He used to be a cop down in Lake Jackson, and then he became a real estate agent. And I put a sign out there. He was actually showing the property and happened to see my sign because he was renting a home in Lake Jackson, and he wanted to move in West Columbia with his kids and his wife. This was a large home. It was a 5-bedroom, and during the rehab, when I was walking in with the contractor, I came up with an idea, just cutting one of the rooms out to make it a 4-bedroom and extending the living room. And so whenever that the renter, the tenant, wanted to come look at the property, he said, man, this is beautiful. This is great. So he was actually going to show a home, and then I gave him the application, and everything was good.
So it was easy.
But you actually,
It wasn't that.
you actually did background checks and you did some real screening.
Right.
Background
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so the
so-
question
Used a
was,
leasing
you
agent
did
for
it-
these, so we didn't personally do any of that. They did
Right.
that.
Right.
So yeah, so Lifestyle teaches to do background checks, credit checks. The mentor, when you sit down with a mentor, we can guide you through what your resident selection criteria ought to be for that submarket and what your needs are to cover yourself. So you got resident selection criteria, you got background check, you got credit check. So we teach you how not to get those purple Martians in there. So.
If you don't know what a purple Martian or any of the stuff he said, don't worry. I will cover that step by step for about an hour in the seminar, how to do all that.
Yeah, where their place of employment was a big deal with me. So just like how they teach, and that was important.
So, one more question.
We have a lot of friends who have done rehabs on their personal homes, and we just keep hearing story after story of how difficult it is because supplies are hard to get. And out of the past 2 testimonies, I haven't heard anybody say that rehabs have been a problem with getting supplies and workers. Why is that?
That's a great question. Do you want me to answer that?
Sure.
Okay, we are not buying high-end stuff like they do on their personal residence. Notice every single kitchen looked the same. We are buying builder-grade stuff. Plenty of supply out there. We have none of those problems. Does that make sense? Was there a problem for a period? Yes, OSB might have been like $70 sheet, then it dropped down to 20. You understand it? So there were some, but we survived COVID. We still made the same returns. Some things might have been a little bit, but most of the stuff we are so generic, it's not been a supply issue. Does that make sense? Yeah, great question, though.
Thank you. I would have had to make up an answer. So
What's that?
I would have had to make up an answer. I'm
No,
glad-
you're not allowed to make up the answer. You got to know the answer.
On the 2 most recent deals you guys did, what was the out-of-pocket?
The question was, what was your out of pocket on the ones you just bought? You think?
Well, I know that the first one is probably right at 14,000. The second one, maybe 9,
Wow.
maybe 9.
Give him a hand.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not the average. The average is 30.
That's not typical. So
he's doing really
so
good.
he's stretching his dollar really, really well. So
Don't worry, buy 5 more houses. You can be up here with Doug as another mentor.
All right, I can't wait.
Is it in the same market?
Yes, the other one's in West Columbia and Clute. Yep.
Awesome. All right,
Sounds
well, let's
good.
give him a hand. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.